Here we go, Chelsea fans. Welcome along. It's the stream. Chelsea 2, West Ham 1. A fantastic fight back from Chelsea. And, I mean, come on. Let's be honest. We got away with it, didn't we? We got away with it big time. So, guys, come and join. Let me know what you think in the chat. If you're a channel member, then email me. I'll get you on here. And we'll have a discussion about the game and how it went. So, hopefully, you guys are all good on a Saturday night. 3 points. Up to 10 points now in the Premier League. Outstanding achievement. Just your discussion and your views on the game today. Chelsea 2, West Ham 1. We went a goal down. Daniel, how you doing, mate? Went a goal down, fought back and won the game 2-1. Fantastic goals from Ben Chilwell and from Kai Havertz, with Chilwell an assist. Bearing in mind he come on as a second-half sub. Outstanding. But you have to say, we got away with it. We did get away with that one. Maxwell Cornet come on for West Ham with 10 minutes to go. First touch, hit the post. Second touch, he scored but disallowed because basically there was a foul on Mendy with Gerard Bowen, which you're going to see on Match of the Day, or if you haven't seen it on YouTube already, on the Sky Sports YouTube page. But it's a big win for Chelsea. And Daniel, I couldn't agree with you more. We need a striker badly. 100%. The fact we got one sitting in the stands, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang sitting in the stands, and worth noting that he appeared second half, 10, 15 minutes into the second half, he appeared and took his seat. What was he doing? What was he doing at half time? Anyway, he enjoyed Ben Chilwell's goal. Let's just say that, giving it all some of this. So Chelsea fans, come and join in. It's just a live stream to get your immediate match reactions to the immediate reactions tonight to the game. Anthony, how you doing? We need a style of play. We do. I think the most important thing to remember is that the new signings have come in, need a little bit of time to sort of gel, and need everybody fit. Once everyone's fit and raring to go, then we'll give it 3 or 4 games, 5 games, and see where we're at. You know, Aubameyang coming back, Conte coming back in. Playing with a settled team, a settled defensive line especially. Now, for me, Cucurella is busy. He's a good signing, Cucurella. Busy. And the impact that Ben Chilwell had in the game today when he come on, it just shows you the difference. Thomas Tuchel's now got to sit and go, right, let's go Chilwell left back. Let's go Reece James right wing back. Chilwell left wing back. The back three, Fofana was decent enough today. I mean, if you've not seen the goal already, I'm sure you guys already have, but if you haven't seen the goal already, my God. Daniel, I think he's fit in a couple of weeks' time. 2 weeks' time, I think. But the goal we conceded, I've said on my channel a number of times before about Edouard Mendy that he gives me a heart attack with the ball at his feet. But it's not just the ball at his feet now. He seems to be just, I don't know what it is, but he just doesn't want to catch the ball. He just doesn't want to catch it. I don't know why. It's like he's scared of the thing. But their goal, West Ham's goal today, the ball comes across and you've got Cucurella and Fofana both there. And Mendy decides to come and just slap the ball away and clatter into those two and the West Ham striker in the box and take everybody out. But he doesn't really get rid of the ball. And West Ham get hold of it on the wing, play it back inside, and they score from it. But Mendy's taken 3 players out, including 2 of our own defenders, because he doesn't want to come out and grab it and catch it. He wants to just smack it away for some reason. I mean, the disallowed goal for West Ham, which is there's all sorts of this conjecture and all that sort of stuff. And I've seen Moyes has posted, I've seen Declan Rice has posted. The thing is, again, the ball comes into the box. Mendy comes out to meet Gerard Bowen, and he's ahead of Bowen. And rather than, bearing in mind he's stretching to get the ball, and Bowen's just running onto it. If you watch the replay where Mendy actually slaps the ball away, Bowen can't really get there. And all he's got to do is catch it or just collect it and keep hold of it, Mendy. But he doesn't do it. He smacks it away. And luckily enough, Bowen, now, I will say this, about the goal and why it was disallowed. There was a foul on Mendy. Bowen decides to leave his foot in and connect with Mendy. Whether he likes it or not, he did. He could have stepped over him, but he left his foot in. Mendy got kicked and got hurt and stayed down. As the play then progressed, Mendy couldn't get back and try and sort of get back and rectify the situation. He's on the floor holding onto his chest or his side. But it's a definite foul. But the point I'm trying to make here is that Mendy should just grabbed it anyway. Just collected it, nice and simple, held on to it, no drama. But it's the fact that he wants to slap things away. Their goal, he tried to slap it away. The goal disallowed, he tried to slap it away. Catch the thing, for God's sake. I don't understand why he can't catch the bloody ball. Simple as that. Honestly, Clinton, how are you doing, mate? Looking better than the other day. Cheers. Clinton also says Chile and Mason made a difference. Exactly, they did. Got a bit feisty at the end, didn't it? Old Mason Mount and Emerson, nose to nose. I tell you what, I did like today. I like the old the Reece James and the Mikel Antonio confrontation, nose to nose. Antonio fouled Reece James as he's cut in from the byline on the halfway line, and Reece James has lashed out. Now James was he booked? I think he was booked. I think he might have been booked, but he lashed out. He sort of kicked out while he's on the floor, and he caught Antonio's thigh, and Antonio was walking away. He then stops and gets back in and has a word with Reece James, sort of nose to nose, giving all this to Reece James. Now, Antonio the geezer's huge. James just shrugged him, literally just pushed him away, as if to say he wants. James, Reece James, honestly, for me, I think he's a mountain of a man. Antonio's bigger than he was, but James took no shit. He was literally like, just whatever. And they were all going after each other and they all got pulled apart and all this sort of nonsense. But Faraway says there are moments when he's comfortable. Let's bring up on screen. Hold on. Let me get my thing sorted out. Here we go. So, talking about Edouard Mendy, Faraway Tundra says there are moments when he's very comfortable and there's moments where he just panics. Big time. He does. You're right. And Clinton also, this is what he said. Chile and Mason made a difference today. They did. 100%. Daniel says, we hope get a new midfielder in the January window. This one's only just closed. So he just closed. I think we'd be all right. Zakaria was in the stands today. Obviously, his work permit didn't come through. So it's just interesting to hear your opinions on the game and how big a win that was today against West Ham. I said we did get away with it, in my opinion, 100%. First half wasn't great. No shots on target. 4 off target. Got to the final third. Struggled again. Had to go sideways. There was no penetration. No runs in behind and someone latched onto a great through ball. Just didn't happen today, first half. And I'm just interested to hear what you guys, or read what you guys think. So post your comments in the comment section. Chelsdaft pub is open. So come and have your say. And if you're a channel member, then contact me and I'll get you on here. To become a channel member, it's only £1 a month. That's it. £1 British a month. I know these days with the cost of living, it's a big ask, but it's only £1. That's all it is to be a member. And you come on, join the stream, have your say. Sean, here we go. Sean, favourite songs with K by my side. Sean, if I'm right, I think you've got me singing on here before. Anyway, teams in transition, just glad to get the 3 points, to be honest. Exactly. Let me put you... Hold on. I'm back on StreamYard, by the way, people. So, Sean, yeah, definitely. Teams in transition, exactly. As I said sort of earlier, the new signings, there was only Fofana playing today. Like, I'm talking this week's signings. Fofana was playing today. Aubameyang's in the stand. Again, if you missed what I said earlier, appeared 15 minutes into the second half from half time. Obviously, enjoying his coffee too much. Surely take your seat and watch the whole second half, for God's sake. Anyway, giving it all that with a Chilwell goal. If you've seen the Ben Chilwell goal, if you haven't, but if you have, then remember Frank Lampard's goal against Bayern Munich, those at the bridge years and years ago, where the ball came up to him for Makaleli, and he chested it up in the air, and he span, and then he struck it on the volley. Well, Chilwell's is a little bit similar. Thiago Silva picks him out in between two defenders with a great ball over the top. And Chilwell sort of back to goal, heads it up in the air, spins and realises the ball's falling and he's in behind the defenders and he runs onto his own header. And as the keeper Fabianski comes out, he literally just slides it between his legs from an acute angle into the back, into the bottom of the net. Brilliant goal inside the near post. And made that 1-1. And then Chilwell had another assist. He had an assist for the second goal, the Havertz goal, which was great. Here we go. So, Anthony says, I know Silva's good, but TT said we're using the 3 centre-backs because Silva. We need to go with Fofana and Koulibaly at the back. 4-2-3-1 is the formation to go. It's Chelsea's ever-best formation, really, the 4-2-3-1. Okay, Anthony, who will be your 2 holding midfielders? Let me know. I still think we're primed for 4-3-3, but fair play to your opinion. It's all good. Clinton says if Aubameyang played today, he would have scored. I think he probably would have done. I mean, well, I say that, but the way Chelsea played the first half, too slow, too laboured, no penetration. Honestly, it was so slow today, first half. Really, really was. And the changes from Thomas Tuchel made a difference 100%. 100%. Well, like I say, we got away with it today, I think. Definitely got away with it. So, Chelsea fans, drop a like on it for me. Come and say hello in the chat. If you're a subscriber, you can comment. If you've been a subscriber for 24 hours or more, you can. Apologies. It's the way it is. And Pastor Daniel Assong. Tuchel would have gone... Oh, here we go. I've got to keep bringing it up on here now. Tuchel would have gone under Roman. Look, Giroud and Abraham still scoring. He didn't like any of them. Eventually, he goes to the one who's not better of any of them. Are you referring to Aubameyang when you say that? Giroud, by the way, banging goals for fun for AC Milan with his blonde hair. I really wish we kept hold of Giroud last season. Lukaku stays at Inter. We just kept hold of Giroud for another year and just gave him week in, week out Giroud last season. Imagine how much he would have scored or how much he would have been involved and assisted. Would have been outstanding, Giroud. Really would. Welcome, Chelsea fans, if you're just joining. Chelsea 2, West Ham 1. A massive result today. Big result for Chelsea. Fighting back from a goal down. However, the little thought in the back of my mind, and a lot of the Chelsea fans probably is, got away with that one today. And we did. So just let me know what you think. Post your comments in the comment section. And the chelsdaft pub is open, of course. But yeah, definitely the changes made a difference today. And it was good to see the fact that, I mean, at the end of that, towards the end of that game, we had Koulibaly, Silva, and Fofana as our back three, obviously. We had Chilwell on the left, Reece James on the right. Loftus-Cheek was playing as the only holding midfielder by himself. You then had Mason Mount, Raheem Sterling. You had Kai Havertz, and you had Broja up top together. I mean, I've lost count of how many people I'm talking about. But it was just great to see the fact that, you know, that Chelsea kept battling away. They got the equaliser, went after the game, and got the winner. And it was a great winner from Kai Havertz. I didn't understand Kai Havertz's celebration, giving it all this to Chelsea fans. I wonder what he's talking about. Is he sort of saying maybe the media should keep stum? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Some guy, how are you, mate? I hope you're a guy. Just someone. Fofana looked a bit nervous, in my opinion. I think that's to be expected, though, isn't it? He makes a step up from Leicester. He's thrown straight into the first team squad. A big London derby against West Ham, who, let's face it, we all know are difficult to play against. With old Def warmed up as a manager, David Moyes, bless him. Like, take him out of cold storage, eat him up in a microwave for an hour and brought him out. Bless him. But he wasn't happy at the end of the game. It was definitely a foul, 100% a foul, but I still think that Mendy should have done much better with that. Hopefully you can't hear can you hear my fan in the background? I've got a fan going on, it's too hot in here. My ears flopped. It's not really a great live stream. But come and have your say, people. Subscribers, post your comments in chat. You have to be a subscriber for longer than 24 hours to do so. Welcome everybody else joining. Thank you for joining the stream. Chelsea 2, West Ham 1. Big 3 points for Chelsea today. However, we did get away with it. And if you've not seen the highlights yet, you'll see the goal that was disallowed and the fact that Cornet come on, the ex-Burnley player, come on, first touch hit the post, second touch score, but disallowed because of a foul on Edouard Mendy. And it was definitely a foul. And if anybody, you hear this nonsense about people saying, it's debatable. He left his footing on Mendy. He could have stepped over him, but he left his footing. So I'm glad that VAR sorted it and said to the referee, go and check the monitor. And the referee disallowed the goal. As I said, David Moyes was incensed, but definitely a free kick and a foul. So massive 3 points today. Bearing in mind you've seen Tottenham have beaten Fulham today. Man City slipped up, a 1-1 draw with Villa. And I gather, I didn't see the game, but I gather there's a bit of VAR controversy in that game also. Brentford were a big win today. The bin dippers drew with Everton, which has done us a favour as well. From what I saw on the table, the only team that can take over that can sort of overtake us from below us is Man United. If they beat the Arsenal tomorrow. Otherwise, we're sort of sitting 5th or 6th, I think we are. So 10 points, 5 points behind, 4 points behind Man City now. And 5 points behind the Arsenal, but the Arsenal play tomorrow. Man United. Let's hope for a draw. A nice boring draw where they kick lumps out of each other and plenty of people get injured. That's what we want. Smash the like button for me, people. Yeah, very interesting game tomorrow. Look, some guy's posting up for me. Some guy. So come on, guys. Post your comments. Let me know what you think about the game and the 3 points. What's your reaction to the game today? The performance, if you saw the game. If you didn't see the game, then, the fact that we won the game. I'm sure you've read social media by now. I'm sure you've sat and you've heard your I'm sure there's other people on Chelsea YouTube that have done their videos and stuff like that, or doing a watch along, self-obsessed watch along. Anthony, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Really do. Pasta. Why is Tuchel using Broja as a bit part player? The current owners have given him all he needs. If he doesn't deliver, he'll be out before season ends. Remember how they got rid of the top brass? Listen, I get there's negativity over Tuchel at the moment. I do understand that, bearing in mind the games we've lost beginning of the season and the way we're playing, especially first half today. Now, you've got to give Tuchel some credit for his changes today because his changes changed the game. Now, the one thing I would say about Tuchel is he's had his window. He's brought his 7 players into the first team squad. Let's give him some time to get those players to gel, to get everybody fit, and then have a run of about 5 or so games with everybody fit or his strongest 11 and see where we're at and see what happens. Rather than judge him now, that's what I'm thinking. Jane, how are you doing? Good to see you in. Some guy says he can't believe it. Pulisic is still wearing number 10. Well, he is. And he played today. He started the game. Played around the 65, 70 minutes and played all right. Was decent. There's Jane. How are you, Jane? Good to see you in. Jane, you are a channel member. So if you want to come on and have your say or join on video, then come and join in. So Anthony says, Zakaria and Kovacic with Mount and Havertz as CAM. It was interesting today, though, to see how it sort of played out and the changes that were made. Mount was on the bench. Mason Mount. And Havertz was on the bench. So that I thought you might be, Jane. I thought you might be. Yes, the team today was Mendy was in goal. You had Koulibaly on the left, Thiago Silva in the middle with Fofana on the right. You had Cucurella on the left-hand side, Reece James on the right. You had Loftus-Cheek and Conor Gallagher in the middle, and you had Raheem Sterling, Christian Pulisic, and somebody else. Who am I missing? I'm missing someone that started the game today. Disgraceful. Disgraceful behaviour. Anyway. Wallen, how you doing? Jane says, didn't see the game, but she's following the stats, which is fair play. Wallen says, good to see Chile back, score and create. Exactly. Have you seen his goal? His goal was outstanding. His goal was so good. Honestly, really, really good. Why have I gone completely blank about the extra player that plays today? Shocking. Absolute shocking. Hold on. Just got to sort my life out. So Mendy in goal, Silva in the middle, Koulibaly on the left, Fofana on the right, Cucurella and Reece James, with Gallagher, Loftus-Cheek, Kovacic. That was it. Bloody Kovacic as well. So it was almost like maybe like a three-man midfield, like a 3-5-2 formation today. But yeah, I mean, Kovacic was decent. He didn't play the whole game, Kovacic, but he was good. He was really, really good. Cucurella, like I say, Cucurella was busy, but the difference is Chilwell. When Chilwell comes on, he strides forward. He's solid. You know, he's got a great goal, Chilwell. He got a great assist as well. Pulisic was busy, but I think the problem that you've got is, I mean, I've said it earlier on in my stream, Chelsea was so poor first half. Really bad first half. Really poor. Just going forward, no penetration, no runs in behind, no through balls. Just going side to side. West Ham defending deep, making it difficult. Playing quite defensive and playing for the counter-attack with just Antonio up front. Everybody else dropping in. Fornals and Bowen are dropped in as well. And it just made it difficult for Chelsea. But we're going to face that. Fat 40 TV, how you doing, mate? Good to see you in. We're going to face that. We've got to come up with solutions. Now, Aubameyang is a great, great solution. 100%. Jem, didn't watch the game as we're playing cohesive team because up till now I don't think we have. Exactly. I think you're right. 100%. Jem, as a member, you can come and join the stream if you want. Get involved. Phone, video, whatever you want to do. If you want to get involved and have your say, let me know. Like I keep saying, just give us some time, I think. I think the new signings give them time to bed in. Give Tuchel time to get everybody fit and then work with his best 11. I think for me, what's important now is that he goes with his best defensive line. So Fat 40 TV, for me, I've got to go Chilwell. I have to go Chilwell over Cucurella. Cucurella is busy. He's keen. He's good defensively. He likes to get forward. But Ben Chilwell, It's no disrespect to Cucurella at all when I say this. I don't even refer anything. What I'm about to say means nothing to do with Cucurella. Chilwell's classy, if you know what I mean. He's got this sort of just a thing about Chilwell. It just seems like nothing really phases him too much, and he's just the way he sort of carries himself. He good in the tackle, Chilwell. Good going forward. His goal today was outstanding. He got himself in a position where he could contribute, having made a first run that didn't happen, and then come back around. Broja had the ball on the left-hand side, and he was sort of level the edge of the penalty box, on the left corner of the penalty box. Chilwell sort of made a run inside, then sort of stopped, then went on the outside and gave Broja that option when Broja was looking for an out ball or a ball. You had West Ham were defending numbers, and the ball played by Broja to Chilwell, getting to the byline. And Chilwell picked out Kai Havertz. There was a first run near post, ignored that, and he picked out Havertz under pressure, and Havertz slot the ball home. 6-yard box, front post. Fabianski, no chance, and that was it, 2-1. So Ryland thinks we need a sporting director. Really? But I think the line of communication is quite good between Tuchel and Todd Bowley, though, right? Jane, Thomas Hibbs going there to sort out. Do you think he did that? Not quite, Jane, if I'm honest. Not quite. But it's good that he threw in Fofana today straight away. I think that trio will grow together and become solid. The Koulibaly, Silva, Fofana trio. If you then add to that Reece James and Chilwell, that 5 is solid and is outstanding. And imagine that as your base. Now, the only question that I've got at the moment is Mendy when it comes to that defensive area, because Mendy, again, instinctively, as a shot stopper, he's outstanding. One-on-one, shot stopper, brilliant. Or, stands up, faces a shot from outside the box, brilliant, Mendy. When he's instinctive, I get the impression at the moment that when Mendy thinks about things too much, that's when he makes mistakes. And I mean, he flapped at their first goal, took out 2 of our defenders inside and put me in the back of the net, Cucurella and Fofana, when he should have just caught the ball. The geezer's 6'7", for God's sake. Just catch it. Stop flapping at it all the time, punching it, slapping it. I don't understand why he keeps doing that. And then the goal late on that was disallowed. Mendy come out again and just slapped the ball away rather than he literally just, the ball's here. He's diving at Bowen in front of Bowen, and Bowen's running onto him. He's not they're not sort of touching each other at the time. And Mendy's actually had the opportunity to slap the ball away when it's here. Just catch it. Hold on to it. The fact that Bowen left a foot in, and he did leave a foot in, it was a foul, 100%. Moyes, like I said, Daft warmed up, has gone mental. Declan Rice as well, Antonio, all bleating on social media about the game, about our decisions cost them, blah, blah. Definite foul, 100%. Jerry Bujo, how are you doing? Chelsea cut into his offensive game. He does, 100%. 100%. Clinton, what will be my best 11 now the window is shut? It'll be, at the moment, Kepa in goal. Chilwell left wing back, Reece James right wing back. The back 3 today, Koulibaly, Silva, and then Fofana. Midfield 2 will be Kante, Kovacic. And then the 3 up front, the 2 number 10s, I'd play Havertz. I would actually play Havertz and Mason Mount behind Broja. Now, a lot of people might think, well, what happened to Raheem Sterling? He was nowhere today. He wasn't involved at all, Sterling, today. And I sort of said this in my stream after the game we lost against Southampton. I'm wondering if the sign of Sterling has sort of unbalanced things a little bit, because you've got to fit him in. And we play with number 10s at the moment. And he's not number 10, Sterling. But he wasn't in the game today. And I'd honestly play Broja in midweek in the Champions League or against Fulham on the weekend. I'll go with Broja up front because the guy's going to score you goals. 100%. Focal point. But that's my best 11 at the moment. Doesn't include Sterling. But then when Aubameyang comes back in, you'll go Aubameyang ahead of Broja. Purely simply because of his goal scoring ability. But, I mean, hopefully Aubameyang doesn't fall into the curse of the Chelsea number 9s, which we all know exists. Whether you like it or not, it exists. Now, can you just let me know in the chat, guys? Can you hear my fan in the background? Hopefully you can't. Anyway. Jabiru Joe says, many need to follow the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. Bit harsh. Do you think his confidence has been knocked a bit since the penalty failures? I think so, Jane, 100%. I actually think that the Leeds game and the mistake against Leeds has really knocked him. iOS, agree with you 100%. Mehdi, how are you doing? Thank you for joining. Brilliant from Chilwell. Tell the match in our favour by himself. I think the match against teams like West Ham for final. Silva Curley is a bit redundant. Could create a left centre back for these games, maybe. Oh, really? So who would you take out, Mehdi? Would you take out Fofana? Would you take out Koulibaly? What would you do? Let me know. The final word. Are you kidding me? Sterling's one of our best players. Sterling has been one of our best players. But if you watch that whole game today, the final word. Now, what I will say in his defence is that Chelsea were awful first half. The way we played was shocking. We were too slow. We were too laboured. There was no killer ball. There was no urgency in our possession. In my opinion, the final word, Chelsea are at their very, very best. We move the ball forward quickly, at pace, 1-2 touch, and get it in the box early. That's when we're just at our best. In whatever formation for me, that's when Chelsea are at their very, very best. Now, Jorginho was on the bench today, but still, we played too slow. It was going sideways. Now, yes, that's down to West Ham and the way they played, and and West Ham were quite defensive. But we've had this for years. We've had it for years with teams line up against us and being that way. We have to learn to deal with it and try to come up with solutions. First half, we didn't. Second half, we did. And credit to Tuchel for doing that by making his changes. James says, do you think Aubameyang will help Broja's game move forward? Hopefully so. Because when you work with players of that experience, you can only improve. It's like Fofana. He's come into the team or to the club, and look, he's playing alongside. He's playing alongside a wealth of experience in Thiago Silva, who was outstanding again today. Manhandled, by the way, by what's his face? Old Antonio up front. Literally just dragged him to the floor like American football or rugby, and didn't even get booked for it. And he'd already been booked, by the way, for his little contretemps with Reece James. But Thiago Silva's outstanding, wealth of knowledge, and Koulibaly. If you're Fofana, 21, 22, thinking I can learn from these guys every day in training, what a joy that must be. So, and I think Aubameyang will help Broja. Of course he will, 100%. iOS, Pulisic now has a haircut like Mount and Havertz. He's worse now. Drop him to the academy like Bettinelli. Once again, Pulisic struggled. He struggled to create. There was a little times in the first half he got him behind a little bit, but they shut the door because they were quite defensive, West Ham, and he sort of struggled with trying to break things down. Every time he picked the ball up, he could only go sideways. There was no penetration in behind. So, like I say, we're going to come up against teams that do this against Chelsea a lot, and we have to come up with something different. So, hopefully we'll get that. Mehdi says, rotation between Silva and Koulibaly is inevitable with games coming every 3 days. I don't blame Tuchel for introducing Broja carefully and not just throwing him as a starter. It'll pay off in the long term. He just signed a new 6-year contract to 2028, Broja, and he's overjoyed, over the moon. But honestly, I didn't realise the size of the man. He's a big old unit, Broja, and I'd play him. I would play him, honestly. Yes, Kai Havertz come on and got a goal. Broja was involved in build-up. He took himself to go wide, edge of the box, outside the box to hold it up and wait for Chilwell's run to him, played Chilwell in. Broja took himself out of the box to go and do that because he knew there was Havertz in there. There was Sterling in there. There was Mount in there. And Chilwell picked out Havertz with a great ball in the box. But I think you've got to play. You've got to go with Broja. Honestly, you really, really do. I've got to play him. I'd play him all day long. Work along, people. Smash that like button for me. We're talking reactions to the game today on a Saturday night, 20 past 10 in the UK on a Saturday night. So let me know what you think. Clint says he's on the Premier League 2 game last week and Bentley looked like a good goalkeeper. Fair play. He's keen, Bentley. We'll give him that. But honestly, I just think they got to have a word with Kepa, Mendy. Literally just about catching the ball rather than slapping at it or trying to punch it away or smacking it away. Just catch the bloody thing and you'll stop half the problems. So honestly, there's just times where he baffles me with what he does. And if you're Kepa sitting on that sideline, you must be sitting there thinking, surely I must be getting a chance to, soon, honestly. So I've got 40 likes so far. So smash that like button for me. Let's get to 50 as soon as we can. Got 133 people watching. Yes, awful, I know. Mehdi also says, Broja, what surprised me was his dribbling from out of his stature. You expect a clumsy fall, but he's actually technically quite good and protects the ball well. Got to turn that off. In a month, you'll find as well. But I just think for a presence up front, I still think that Chelsea are crying out for someone to lead the line. And we've said it before on my streams before, on my videos before, in the Drogba, Costa, Giroud mould. We bought in Lukaku, and we asked him, in all fairness, we asked Lukaku to change his game and to be that player, and he wasn't. Broja could be the man. He's only young. He's going to get better and better and better, but he can already hold his own. He can already hold the ball up. He's a presence already, Broja. And he scores your goals. So I'd go with him all day long. I really, really would. Warren says, a decent goalkeeping coach, Hilario, not it. R.E. Mendy. I get what you mean. I get what you're saying. I do get what you're talking about. So I should be, at the same time, on Twitter. If I am, hopefully. If I am, hello, people. Welcome along. Let's have a look. Am I on? I actually am now. So if I go onto my... This is quite good, this old StreamYard, isn't it? It's not too bad. Anyway. For the regulars, you know that when it comes to the old technology and not all that. So Twitter broadcast. I want to see what it looks like. Twitter broadcast. Live. Oh, there you go. No viewers. Ha! Brilliant. Marvellous. Yeah, no viewers whatsoever on Twitter. Great. Marvellous. Never mind. It's you guys on YouTube that I'm looking for. Anyway, so iOS. What's happening with Emerson? Well, he's gone, isn't he? Emerson's gone. He played today against us. Have a little bit of a contretemps with Mason Mount at the end there, which was interesting, to say the least. But, Emerson is one of those players where he did okay. But think of the managers he's played under in his time at Chelsea, and he can never force his way in as the main man in that wing-back position. Says it all, really. So, Seeker, how you doing, mate? Good to see you in. Need to start Broja. Tuchel doesn't believe young players. It's not proven. Thomas Tuchel does not like to take risks, but who does? That's the thing, though. When your ass is being questioned, as in Tuchel's, after the defeats that we've had against Southampton and Leeds, then, I take you back years and years ago when Ancelotti was manager. We won the double, and that summer we lost some first-team players, and he was told to replace the first team with some players from the academy, Jeffrey Brumer, people like that. Van Aanholt as well, by the way, back in the day. And we went through a real sticky patch, Chelsea, and it culminated in us getting beat by Sunderland at home, 3-0 or 3-1. I can't remember what it was. And at that point, Chelsea then decided, enough's enough, let's go out and spend some money. And if you remember that, January, we went out and bought David Luiz and Fernando Torres. So the problem that you've got in the modern game is the amount of money that's available for finishing top four. Just the financial awards are huge in the Premier League alone, but also Champions League as well. So you would love a manager to sit and go, do you know what? I'm going to trust my academy. I'm not going to go out and sign £256 million worth of players and bring people in from the academy instead. But because of the level of expectation, because of the financial burden, missing out on Champions League, that money's huge. Top four is huge. People are just too afraid to do it. Frank Lampard had to do it because he had no choice. But the problem is, imagine if Thomas Tuchel, if Chelsea didn't buy 7 players in this window and bought in 7 players from the academy and we finished mid-table. I mean, Chelsea social media, from all those keyboard warriors out there, will go insane. Just go mental. Because all they've ever known is Chelsea be successful, because that's how they started following. But it'll just go mental. It really, really would. And I just think that there's too much pressure now and level of expectation in the game that you can't blood the youngsters as you want to, because you need to be winning games week in, week out and maintain your position in the top 4. And it's getting harder and harder because teams are spending money like Tottenham and the Arsenal. Anyway, Wylam. Do a drop off in the goalkeeping department. You're talking about Mendy again. I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. Lolishon, yeah, got out to be fair. Seeker, you're okay. Good to see you, mate. Evidence says, why is Broja not starting? It's still make good forward. Also, Wesley Fallon's really good with the ball. Fair play. Lezek Mendy. In what regard are you saying Mendy ? About his performance today? Evidence says, since Koulibaly got a red card, I noticed he's reduced his good tackles. He made a good one today. Flew in today and made a great tackle today. Pastor, I was a 2-year deal plus 1 year extension. Does well, Broja be frozen out and put up for sale. Won't surprise me the way we sell quality players easily, very cheaply. Pastor, you're quite negative, aren't you, about Chelsea at the moment? I do get it. I do understand where it's all coming from, but come on. The amount of games Chelsea are going to play, Broja will work with Aubameyang and improve his game. Just have a little bit of faith, mate. Have a bit of faith. Good old plastic, says Ryan. Okay, Mendy overall. Have you just joined the stream? Okay, Leslie. I was just saying earlier about the goals the goal he conceded today. Flapped it. So I don't understand why he can't catch the ball, Mendy. Simple as that. That's all I'm going to say. I think the Leeds game and his lack of control when they took it off him and scored has had a massive effect on his confidence. 100%. And I think Mendy's confidence is shot. However, when he's one-on-one, instinctive shot stopper, he's amazing. He's up there with the best of them, Mendy, without question. Problem is, when he's got time to overthink stuff, because his confidence is shot at the minute, it's affecting his game. Now, if you haven't seen the goals, I'm sure you probably have, but if you haven't, he his old Jim's tweeting me. Hello, Jim. He literally took out two Chelsea defenders at the far post and the attacker from West Ham and put them in the back of the net. Honestly, it's ridiculous. So, if it was me at the moment, I'd go Kepa, because I think Mendy needs a bit of a shock. Like he's making mistakes. He's staying in the team. It should really be you're in the team based on your performance. Based on how you're performing. If you're not good enough, you're out of the team. That's what it should be. There's an argument. There's favourites involved. Maybe. Jamie just tweeted me. How you doing? You want to get involved? Come and get involved. Jem, email me. Look at the post on the community tab on YouTube. Email me. Get on here. Come and talk on a video on phone or whatever. Come and get involved in the live stream. Any other members, if you want to get involved and come and have your say on the phone or on video with me and just have your say on the game or whatever you want to talk about, then just look at the community tab. Look at my post. My email address is on there. Contact me and we'll get involved. I'll get you on here as soon as possible. Here we go. So, do we actually have a set piece coach? Because, wow, we always concede with set pieces, especially corner kicks. iOS, the goals today, honestly, it's all on Mendy. All on Mendy. The problem that you've got, right, now, I've played the game at like a Southern Amateur, sort of just below Southern Amateur standard. It was decent standard. It wasn't obviously the best, but if you think about you're defensively set for corners, now, you don't take into consideration the goalkeeper. You look at yourselves as a defensive unit, and you're like, right, so you be like back four, you need to be here. Somebody on the front post, somebody back post. Bring the midfielders back. Bring somebody up front back. Let's just make ourselves either go zonal or go man marking, and you focus on yourselves. You don't focus on the goalkeeper. So if you focus on yourselves and get your job done, then the goalkeeper comes out and flaps like he did, and literally just causes untold issues, then what can you do about it? It's ridiculous, honestly. It's awful. When you see the goal back, honestly, Cucurella and Fofana and somebody else, I think it might have been Bowen, I'm not sure, from West Ham, I literally just because he takes them all out, they end up in the back of the net. Anyway, Jesus. Mehdi says he's not quite good at his feet, so once again, Leeds can happen. The soft one on the near post and the soft fist today. There you go, see? That's what makes you worried. Yes, Royland, Anthony Barry's wanting to assist Lampard with set pieces. He's still there, Anthony Barry, by the way. He's still there. Attacking set pieces were concerned there are double-digit corners, yet delivery is very poor. What a good shout, Mehdi. Great shout, by the way. At one point, Chelsea had 10 corners to none from West Ham. Just showing you how much we were dominating possession of the game. I think the first half was 70% possession, 30% West Ham. Second half ended up being the same again. But again, we had no cutting edge first half. We had eight corners in the first half. I think it was 8 or 9. But every single one was poor. Conor Gallagher, delivery was poor. Cucurella's was poor again. You got Reece James on the pitch there. Not taking corners. I don't know why. But it was awful, honestly. Really, really poor. But great shout, Mehdi. Great shout. There you go. iOS. Echoed the fact. Free kicks are useless as well. To be fair, West Ham are a big team. If you look at it's the old Stoke basketball team. They've got so many 6-footers and over, West Ham, in their defensive third. You've got Souček in there. Declan Rice is in there, along with the centre-backs as well. And like Zuma's in there. I mean, you know what Zuma's like with bloody corners and defending corners. Every time we lumped it into the box from a free kick or whatever, we actually managed to beat the first defender in a corner, a West Ham body was there to get the ball away because they're such a big team defensively. And what they do, if you watch West Ham, when they line up to defend corners, they got all their big players are spread out amongst that 6-yard box and around the 6-yard box to deal with it. And they don't move. They do not move. They don't just, like, whether it goes from one side or the other, they've all got their position. They all hold their position. And more often than not, West Ham get the ball away. And that's what Chelsea struggle with today. Because think about it. Kai Havertz on the bench. Like I said, up front, we had Pulisic, Sterling. Here we go again. So match of the day started, apparently. So ignore that. Where's my tweet with the team? Hold on. Right, here we go. So we had, think of like height-wise then, guys. Fofana, Silva, Koulibaly. Koulibaly's decent. Fofana's decent. Gallagher. Loftus-Cheek's got height. Kovacic, no. Cucurella, no. Pulisic, no. Sterling, no. So think about it. Every time we got a free kick, rather than go short up the line to Reece James or to Cucurella, we just lumped it into the box with 8 6-footers at West Ham up against what? Fofana and Koulibaly and Loftus-Cheek and Thiago Silva. That was it. So we were always going to be outnumbered. But, you know. So, yeah, the team was Mendy, Fofana, Silva, Koulibaly. Silva was the captain as well. It was outstanding, Silva again. James, Gallagher, Loftus-Cheek, Kovacic, Cucurella. So a midfield 5. Pulisic and Sterling. On the bench was Kepa, Aspi, Chilwell, Chalobah, Jorginho, Mount, Ziyech, Broja and Havertz. The subs that came on was Chilwell, Jorginho, Mount, Broja and Havertz. All 5 came on and they changed the game in Thomas Tuchel's defence. You have to say. So, let's have a look here then. Mehdi says, a bit of an improvement today was defending the ball cleared after corners. West Ham transition, we didn't give much. We didn't know we didn't. We did well. But again, like I say, you can set yourself up defensively to defend corners. But if the goalkeeper does what the goalkeeper does, you can't account for it because he's not part of your planning, is he, the goalkeeper? So it's, hard work. Smash the like button for me, people. Come and say hello in the chat as well. Let me know what you think about the game today. Big 3 points for Chelsea. Massive 3 points for Chelsea. Here we go. Hold on. iOS, not you, mate. Tuchel was once asked about our attack and says the problem is we don't keep clean sheets. He's so obsessed with defence, doesn't care about attack at all or knows little about it. Now, I will say this. There is a thought process that goes on the lines of you're not going to be successful unless you've got a solid foundation to build from. Now, I honestly think that we found ourselves a solid foundation once they've got time to work together and understand each other. And I'm referring to the back 5, back 3 and the 2 wing backs. It's got to be Chilwell left-hand side. Koulibaly, left-hand side, centre defender. Silva in the middle, Fofana on the right, and Reece James. That 5, if they click, just could be amazing together. The 5 of them working in tandem, shutting that door will be outstanding. So you do need a solid base to build from. Think of the history of the Premier League. Look at the entertainers Newcastle that season, went up against Man United, where Alex Ferguson got underneath old Kevin Keegan's skin, and Keegan was giving it, I'd love it if we beat them and all that sort of stuff. Newcastle will call the entertainers because all they want to do is go and score goals. They didn't really worry about the defence at all, and it bit them on the arse. Think of Chelsea's first season under Jose Mourinho as manager, when we won the title for the first time in 50 years. That team still holds the record of conceding the least amount of goals in the Premier League in a whole Premier League season, 14 or 15, because Jose Mourinho knew you got to build a solid foundation first, and then once you've got this foundation sorted out, you then elaborate and go further and build on that foundation. So you have to be honest, in the games we've played, if you think about it, we've not had that solid foundation at all. We've been looking for it. The fact we lost Rudiger, we lost Christensen, we've lost George Marcus Alonso. Think of the players that have come in to replace them. Alonso goes, Cucurella comes in. Rudiger goes, Koulibaly comes in. Christensen goes, Fofana comes in. I think they're upgrades on what we had. No disrespect to those other players, the ex-players of ours that left. But I think they are upgrades. And like I'm saying, if you get those five ticking, working together and being solid, the Chilwell, Reece James, Koulibaly, Silva and Fofana, that defensive unit could and should be solid enough to build a foundation on to go, right, you're now set. Anybody else, you've got to work hard to get in. Cucurella, Aspi, Chalobah, and then go, right, okay, let's go through midfield now and let's work on going forward. I have to say, that's what you have to do. There's no point trying to focus on the attack and trying to outscore people when you keep conceding goals. So you've got to sort your defensive side out first for me. 100%. Yelena, shocking. Why? Why Tuchel out now? Let me know why. iOS, he said the PSG just let Neymar back do a thing and he's an attacking coach assistant. Fair play. Mehdi says, Sterling dropping off and doing across the opposite side. Zix, I was interested. He had 3 of those. 2 of them were perfect. He struggled to get into the game, didn't he? Sterling today. I thought he really, really struggled. I thought he just couldn't get into it at all because of the way we were playing. I just think it just... Sterling is like, play him up front in a 3 up front and play on the left-hand side, cutting in, because you know that's what he's going to give you. He'd done it season in, season out at Man City, scored bags of goals, but we're playing him on the right-hand side or whatever. But he couldn't get in it today, Sterling. There's only out there better than TT at the moment. Stop saying Thomas Tuchel out. Exactly. I mean, the problem is, Clinton, the Chelsea social media, the social media sphere, let's just say that, is toxic when we lose games. The same people go quiet when Chelsea win games. Or if we struggle to win a game, but we do win a game, they'll pick up our flaws and focus on that rather than the 3 points. Because all these people have ever seen at Chelsea is success because they've jumped on the bandwagon. Now, I'm talking about the people that sit and criticise the whole time and are negative the whole time. They don't see any positive whatsoever. And that's what riles people up. Now, I've been going to Chelsea since 1980. Actually, Yelena and those negative Chelsea fans that are calling for Thomas Tuchel to be out and this sort of nonsense. I started going to Chelsea in 1980 when I was 6. And I need to check the records, but from what I can remember, we were second division then. Electric fences, 8,000 fans, Grimsby at home on a cold, wet Tuesday night at Stamford Bridge. Ground, quarter full. We were awful. Awful. But I was still there because I loved Chelsea. That was my club. That was my hometown club. I was born and bred in Chelsea. My whole family was from Chelsea, 200, 300 yards from the ground. Most of them still go to the games. I can't go at the moment but they still go to the games week in, week out at home. And it's just, people need a bit of a reality check. They really, really do. Back then at Chelsea, your highlight, when we got into was first to get promoted back into what they used to call Division 1 back then. But your highlight of a season as a Chelsea fan, for all those Chelsea fans that have just jumped on the bandwagon these days, since we've been successful, that all they know is success. Our highlight was to play Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, and try and get a good result against them and try and finish mid-table. That was it. That's what it was. The highlight, that's what it was for us. Beat Tottenham, of course. But that was a different world to what we are now. So some people need to get a bit of a grip at the minute and just look at the situation. We've had a team that's been rotated, a defensive line that's been rotated for whatever reason. Tuchel's not had the players in he wanted to have in until he's now got them in. Now the window's shut. Give him a couple of months to work with these players, get everybody fit, and then see what happens when he moulds a team together with everyone to choose from. Not players injured, not players unavailable because of work permit issues, but when everyone's available, let's see what he comes up with and then judge him. Because he's gone out and he's strengthened the areas we need to strengthen, and he's gone out and got a proven Premier League goal scorer. He's brought in Raheem Sterling, another proven goal scorer. Let's see what happens. Let's give it till Christmas and then judge it then. Then just judge it then. Indefinite. Great shout. Enough of this player out, a manager out. BS, exactly. We're creating a toxic fan base. You're not creating one, mate. It's already here. Look at Havertz's celebration day, shutting all you clowns out. Exactly. He did this when he scored. Now, I'm not sure if it was indefinite. Do you think that was aimed at the Chelsea fans? Or do you think that was aimed at the media when he did that? Let me know what you think. Jem, plastic fans out now. Plastic, yeah. Fofana was excellent today. He played all right today in his debut. I thought he did all right. Jem, look at you. Put me to shame. Been a fan for 21 years before I turned up in 1980. Wow. Fair play, Jem. Outstanding. Pub's open, by the way. Thomas Tuchel, his tactics got to be careful once he's dropping points. He's over. Exactly. I've seen 06 now. I never said this and that, manager. I know. Sorry, I know. It's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, we live in a world where, like I keep saying to you, think of when Abramovich took over Chelsea Football Club and he brought in, what's his name? Peter Kenyon that time. And Peter Kenyon, I think, is one of his first press conferences. He said that the aim is to make Chelsea a global brand from where we were then, a global brand, one of the best teams in the world in the next 5 years, blah, 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 a recognised global brand. And when that happens, you get a fan base from all over the world. And it's what I keep saying. Now, I respect people for being Chelsea fans because that's the club they've chosen to support. Now, for whatever reason, I understand that. What riles me more than anything is these fans that have jumped on the bandwagon when Chelsea have been successful, Mourinho and all that sort of stuff, on that time, or even recent times. They don't know what it was like before then. And all they see is success. If you don't get success, that's it. And they just call for this toxic nature on Twitter. Now, there are certain Twitter accounts out there that have got big followings. And there are certain YouTubers out there that have got big followings as well. Now, the only thing I'd say is shame on you. Because these people encourage this stuff. And it's awful, honestly. It's just shocking. So what I suggest that these people that are calling for Thomas Tuchel to be out and all this sort of stuff is do your research. Look at your history. Look at old Chelsea videos from the 80s and 90s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, the noughties, whatever they call it. Before it was successful, just look at that time. And you'll see Chelsea were very, very different back then. And what we were fighting for, a full members cup. The full members cup was a cup that was created. And we won it. We beat Man City 5-4 at Wembley. And that was massive for us. And the full members cup lasted 2 years or 3 years, whatever it was. It was done away with. But we won it. And it's part of our history. And we're proud of it. And those people that at Wembley that day, and I was there, loved it because it was a trophy to celebrate. Because back then, a trophy was everything to us. Look at Newcastle. Newcastle not won a trophy for God knows how long. They've got Saudi backers. They're trying to just bankroll their football team to be successful and to win a trophy again. Chelsea have been so blessed in the last, nearly approaching 20 seasons, 20 years, that it's been the most successful time in our club's history. We are the most successful club over that period of time. And for me, that stood on the old terraces with 8,000 fans in the 80s, in the old second division, electric fences. I love it. Absolutely love it. So all I'm going to say to you guys is those that are very, very toxic, that have jumped on the bandwagon, just go back and look at old videos, honestly, and get a bit of a grip with yourselves, and then judge. So here we go. Let's have a look at what we're saying. Let's get someone more. He did, Clinton. I'll come to you in a minute. Jane, you've been a true blue since 1999, but I'm not taking with you guys. I just love them, good and the bad. Fair play to you, Jane. Fair play. Darren had a good time, CD. I know, Clinton. Indefinite. Einstein and both Chelsea fans and the media have been saying Havertz out, Mendy out, Mason out, Tuchel out, spin a narrative. Enough already. Back up the boys always. Up the Chels. I think you'll find indefinite on this channel. I'm not calling for anybody out. And I stand by that. And I think every one of my subscribers will tell you that as well. All I said on the weekend, in midweek we lost against Southampton, was that he's got to change it, Tuchel. He's got to change the formation. Anyway, to his credit today, come bouncing back. Started off poorly, half time, second half made a change he needed to make and won the game. Mehdi, man, I asked how it was when Abramovich took over. How did it feel like the first years? Was there a part of you thinking our club is gone? Now, there probably was at the time. There was a lot of Chelsea fans that there's still some social media accounts called I want my Chelsea back, this sort of stuff. It was difficult. There was Chelsea fans out there when Abramovich took over, didn't like it. Didn't feel right. But you fast forward to where we are now, look what happened. So when he took over, it was a massive surprise. Chelsea on a massive spending spree. And the rest is history. But yeah, there were Chelsea fans at the time didn't like it. Still don't, possibly. But the thing is, right, let's just put it this way. From my own personal point of view here, right, okay, so like I said, I'm now 48. So I was born in 74. First game with Chelsea in the 80s, 1980, when I was 6. Now, at the time, as I keep saying to you, second division, first division, the highlight of our season was playing the big teams, trying to beat them, and finishing top half of the table, and maybe have a good cup run. That was the highlight of our season in, season out. That was it. I could only ever dream of Chelsea challenging for the title, winning cups, winning titles, winning the European Cup as it was back then, or the Champions League now, and becoming a force like worldwide and being one of the biggest names, the biggest clubs in the world, recognised globally for our success. That was just unheard of back then. That was just a pipe dream. And to sit, if you think about it back in the day, to sit then and watch the likes of the Arsenal tear up the league and dominate for a few seasons. Liverpool dominate as well. Then United to come along and dominate. For Chelsea to go through the transition they did with Abramovich and to literally just go, do you know what? You lot, we're going to spend some money. We're going to rock the apple cart and we're going to come in and just take what was our dreams, turn them into reality over 2 decades. Then I am so pleased and so honoured that that's happened in my lifetime that I can talk to my little boy about it when he's old enough. It'll be outstanding. Honestly, outstanding. Alonso. Alonso, you want to come in, mate? Hold on. Anyway, so let's read some more of these comments. Like I said, the whole point is it was a pipe dream for me when I was younger. I've now lived through it all. I cherish it. And when people turn around and go, oh, you bought the league, blah, 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 we all started all this. Look at Tottenham now, bankrolling, spending loads and loads of money. Look at Arsenal doing it. Look at United still trying to do it to get back to where they were. Because the Arsenal haven't won the league or Champions League. So I think you'll find we're the only team in London that's won the Champions League twice. European Cup. Tottenham ain't done it. City ain't done it, by the way. Arsenal ain't done it. We've done it twice. And I love that. Absolutely love it. So anyway, guys, let's read more of your comments. Thomas Tuchel is an outstanding manager. He's not going anywhere indefinite. What boggles my mind is we're not talking about disgraceful manner about our players. Oh, we're talking about in a disgraceful manner about our players. Our club, our manager, I never back that up. Up the Chelsea, indefinite. Become a member. Pay £1, become a member. Get on here. Jane, when Abramovich was criticised for just throwing money at expensive players and only winning because of that. We were criticised for that 100%. Speedy scored. It did in the Four Members Cup final. David Speedy and Kerry Dixon. Look them up, people. If you never heard of them, look them up. They hate each other off the pitch. On it, they were fantastic. We're the only first country invited to European Cup 1956, but the FA vetoed it. Did they really, Jen? Bloody hell. Going to be fine, guys. Got a very, very good squad. We have Royland says we'd love to see what Hullet could have achieved with Roman's back in. Arteta running EP out of nowhere. Youngsters didn't talk about much. He's inspiring, honestly. Arteta. We'll see what happens, though. Alonso, good to see you, mate. Come and join. Come and join. Yeah. Arteta, now, that's interesting. See, I watched that Arsenal documentary on Amazon. And it's interesting to say that. Let's just say that. All the Arsenal players talk about him being tactically brilliant, this sort of stuff. Yeah, I know they beat us in the last season, but think of who Arsenal's played. Now, Arsenal play United tomorrow. United on a little bit of a crest of a wave. 2 wins on the spin. The Arsenal, see what happens. Alonso's in. Alonso is in. Now, guys, just forgive me. Alonso, I'm going to bring you on in just a second. Stay here. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Back in 2. Hold on. Stay here. Keep posting your comments. Sorry, guys, I need a holding message. I know. Right, hold on. Let's get this. Let's get the sound going. So, Alonso, how are you doing?
Good evening,
Can you hear me?
CD. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. How you doing? You all right?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. What do you think?
Good result today. Very happy. I think we needed that after the first 5 games, especially the 2 defeats. Yeah, I am. I think now we hopefully can see what Tuchel can do with what he has, and hopefully Aubameyang and Alvarez. I don't know much about him, but hopefully they can prove themselves. When it comes to I guess taking on the new era, shall we say, of Chelsea now. So hopefully there will be a big part of that from that going forward. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm quite pleased with everything. I never liked one of the things I wanted to point out. I think I never liked the fact that we lost Billy Gilmore
Mm,
um, in the transfer window, and I've heard many of my friends and many Chelsea fans say Tuchel is saying he's not strong enough, he's not big enough. But I always think to myself, Claude Makelele was never one of the biggest or the strongest in his role, and he was one of the best, if not the best, in his role.
mm.
So that's the only thing I ever kind of wasn't happy with. I think in the
Yeah,
end that he wasn't given a chance. I don't know if many other fans agree with me when you look at what Claude Makelele did for us when he was here.
mm, yeah,
Um, but otherwise, yeah, I mean, overall, we need to give Tuchel a chance. I look at Tuchel and I think he won the Champions League, he won the Super Cup, he won the Club World Cup. So there is ground for him to grow and build. So other than
yeah,
that, my only concern going forward is when we are in situations where opponents do figure us out, can he, with the new players and with the, I guess, old players, you can say, use new formations and use a new tactic to try and figure out a way
mm,
of breaking them down? That's my biggest worry for him, because I get the impression in a few weeks' time we could be saying the same things we were saying last week. He doesn't know
yeah,
how to, you know.
yeah. I think first point in relation to Gilmore is a great point about Makelele. Um, there's been a lot of public outcry about the Gilmore situation and the fact that we let Gilmore go for, was it 10 million, and then we've then spent X amount of money on somebody else. I think the thing with Gilmore is that, from what I can understand, Todd Bowley wanted to keep him, but it was Tuchel that said no. We can let him go. I think he thinks that he's just too small. I don't know what it is. I think I don't think he thinks he can cut it in the Premier League. Now, the one thing that I will say about the Makelele era compared to now was the Premier League was very different back then,
Mm,
2004, to what it is now. If you think about the way that teams that come up, for example, Nottingham Forest, how much they've invested in their squad, the money they've spent,
mhm,
and squads are stronger now than what they were back then. Look at the teams that come up then, in the Premier League, and there's a massive difference between the teams back then to what it is now. I'm just sort of saying it from both
mm,
sides. I honestly think that Billy Gilmore will be good enough. Is he good enough right now? I'm not so sure. And I think that the way that Thomas Tuchel wants to play, and when people are fully fit, he's gone with Kovacic and Conte, not Jorginho or Loftus-Cheek. He's gone with Kovacic and Conte as the pivot. And because they're dynamic, because they're physical, because they're box to box, and I'm not sure that Billy Gilmore fits into that mold. So, and I think that's what it come down to. He wants players that can be that way for his preferred tactic, and I think that's why he made the call. Whether that's right or not is up for debate. But on your second point, in relation to what is it you said? You said about, I've lost complete track of what I was thinking. You said
about
you said
basically his formation and how he plans,
that's it.
yeah, going forward.
That was That was it. Yeah. So again, like I said earlier, so let's give a little bit of time for these players that have just come in on the window to adjust. Let's give him a couple of months, maybe till Christmas, and see how he goes. Once everyone's fit, what they can do, how he wants to play. Hopefully, he will adjust the formation when he needs to. I still think personally 4-3-3, but it's up for conjecture. But let's just give him a little bit of time. He's been backed by Todd Bowley. He's now got the players in that he wants. He's got Aubameyang there. He's got Sterling there now up front. Let's see what happens. So, but I honestly believe that there is now scope to change the formation. I'm not sure he trusted everyone 100% to play certain ways. Now he's got the ones that he wanted, and it's very, very different now with Bowley in charge because, as we knew, the previous ownership was all about, who would you like, and and then it was about who the owner wanted to sign as well. No disrespect to Abramovich. So let's just see what happens, but we'll see. But good points, though, anyway. Good points. But big 3 points today, wasn't it? Big 3 points.
I think so. Psychologically, going forward with the new signings, it gives everyone a boost. I think now Fofana today, I think had something to prove, and he did really well. And I think the team is now hopefully now going to respond to the signings. Aubameyang is still to come, and even our new defensive midfielder. So I hope so. I think it will hopefully also put a lot of people on their toes, like Jorginho and Saloba and Kai. Maybe it inspired Kai to do something more today than we've seen in the last couple of games, because he knows Aubameyang is literally just rubbing his hands together, waiting for his opportunity. So maybe it was time for that. So, but yeah, I think like many fans, we're all very pleased, and I think we're all just hopeful. Liverpool are struggling at the moment. Tottenham are a bit up and down. We're still not that far away from, I guess, from really, getting into that top 3 kind of stride towards towards the World Cup. So hopefully, just keep building on it. I mean, I think it's going to be a very close season, I think, towards the end, but in Tuchel we trust. We give him
like I say, let's give him a couple of months, and then we'll go from there. Just want to say a couple of things. So indefinite, thanks for being a member. Check the channel homepage, check the community tab. My email address is on there. Email me and get you on here. So Jane said, what happened about that second goal? I was only following on Google pin score and I was out and about. Are you referring to the West Ham one? So basically the West Ham second goal, the ball come across into the box and Mendy come out with Gerard Bowen, and he sort of parried the ball away rather than catch it. And Bowen sort of was running towards Mendy. His right foot, he stepped over Mendy, but his left foot, he dragged and he caught Mendy in the chest, and Mendy was down injured, holding to his chest. He never got up, and the ball sort of broke loose as Mendy parried the ball away. West Ham played it to Cornet, and Cornet just curled the ball into the far post, inside the far post, and scored. And then that was 2-2. Literally a couple of minutes after we scored to make it 2-1. VAR thankfully looked at it and gave the foul against Mendy, and it was a foul because Bowen he left his leg in. He could have jumped over Mendy, but he's left his left leg there, his left foot there, and he caught Mendy. So that's what happened with the goal being disallowed. But Mehdi says, I can see why some people back an unproven side under an improved manager like Arteta, but won't back an experienced Champions League winning side under an elite manager like Thomas Tuchel. Make it make sense. Get your point. Here we go. So, Ogunmo says, praying for Conte to be fit. I missed him a lot on our squad. That's a big problem, though. Conte's fitness, let's be honest. Jane says, is Thomas Tuchel flexible enough? I sometimes put it down to being German, but he's looked like he has stuck to his formation even when he could see things need changing. Being German? Probably me. What do you think, Alonso? Is he flexible enough, or we've seen him change in recent weeks?
I think he's trying. I think he's trying to accommodate, I think, as many people as he can, considering all the new signings we've had. but it's finding the flow, the rhythm, you know, in the game. I think that's what we're lacking at the moment.
Yeah.
So I think players need to. We've got so many new players in coming in. You know, Cucurella and in the defense, and now one player in the midfield. We're losing players in the midfield like Kante and Kovacic when he's not fit. So and Sterling up
Mm.
front. I think it's gonna take maybe 5 or 6 games for them to settle in and kind of get to know where the other person is gonna be. We still got
Mm.
Aubameyang to come in, so yeah, I mean, we have to we have to see it for ourselves. He has to demonstrate to us how he wants to play and how flexible he can be, because we've seen it in the past where Mourinho has changed the formation when we needed to, and we used to play. I remember is one of these things. We used to go 1-0 up, put on Obi Mikel, hold on to that 1-0 lead, and make sure, because you have no other option. There's no other player you're gonna bring on to keep things going. Do you remember those days? And we would
Yeah.
win 1-0. And I feel like maybe that's what we should have maybe done after Sterling scored in the last game we lost. We were 1-0 up, and rather than keep trying to, trying to seal out the game, put on at the time, put on as many midfielders to hold the line, Loftus Cheek, and just to hold the line and keep that and counter attack. That's what we used to do. Mourinho was an expert at doing that. So
Mm.
uh, I miss that kind of flexibility, as our Chelsea fan was saying, because he should be able to show a bit of that. You see what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he did it today, to be fair, when he made his
Mm.
changes. I mean, it seemed as though he'd literally gone the three at the back. He'd put the two wing backs, told him to go forward. He put
Mhm.
Loftus Cheek in a holding role. He literally went like a 4 and a 6.
Mhm.
And the 6 was the two wide players. You then had Sterling and Mason Mount sort of sitting in, and then you had Kai Havertz and Broja through the middle. And that's why he
Mhm.
played. He sort of it was like a box 4 with Mount, Sterling, Havertz, and Broja with the two wide players, and he attacked the game, and then he got his rewards for it, and he did make the change, Tuchel, so I will give him that.
Mhm.
It's just been exciting to see what happens when Aubameyang comes in and people like that, and Zakaria, and how much Zakaria will influence the game, and if he goes to a 4-2-3-1, if he goes to a 4-3-3, or if he goes to maybe a 4-3-1-2 even, but yeah, so. Mehdi says, when it comes to transfers, players really want to get what they want. Thomas Tuchel want to send Gilmore on loan. He want the permanent move. Good luck to him. Fair play. Um, See, a good Mo says, in my opinion, Thomas Tuchel still doesn't know his strongest 11. I think he won't know his strongest 11 until he's got everybody fit, and then he can work with it and he can go from there. Let's give him a little bit of a chance to get these players, up to fitness, and Zakaria get his work permit done, and then we'll see. So Ryland also says, until the transfer window closed, Tuchel had a little bit of PSGs about him. What do you mean, PSGs? Cooker and Chilwell, what do you guys think should always start first? See, it's what I said sort of earlier. What do you think, Alonso? See, I think that you need to build the formation from the back, a solid base. And I think he now needs to go with Chilwell, Koulibaly, Silva, Fofana, and Reece James as the 5. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Chilwell is looking a lot better, I think, than we originally thought he would be, coming back from a year-long injury. So I think there's, as long as he's in his momentum, because that's what happened, I think, when we won the Champions League, every game. So yeah, I think it's a question of, just keep seeing how they gel together, and if
Yeah,
anything, you've got players like Cucurella, Aspilicueta can come in. You can change a few, tweak here and there just to adjust to the opponent or tactics you want to use.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. At the
yeah,
moment, it's working. And one of my favorite actually new signings, Cucurella, I thought has done really well. I think he was just really unfortunate against Tottenham that what happened that day was just how can I say, an
yeah.
injustice.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would have won that game, and it would have been very different. I think how we feel about the team at the moment. So,
I mean, Cucurella's can be sort of been thrown in, isn't he? He started the game today. He was busy, got himself booked. Wasn't a booking at all, but got himself booked. But he sort of just settled in as well. He's settled in. But again, it's just what I said sort of earlier about Chilwell. Chilwell just seems a little bit more. No disrespect again to Cucurella, but a bit classy. Like he just seems like at ease. He doesn't get phased. Chilwell doesn't panic, and his goal today was outstanding. Honestly, such a good goal. The only thing you'd say with Cucurella is he's when it comes to Alonso and Cucurella, and I said it in my video I posted up yesterday when I was talking about the comparison about our window and the players that have left and the players that have come in. Marcos Alonso, old George Michael, bless him, he was great going forward. He was underrated with his ability with the ball at his feet. He was a threat in the attacking third. He scored important goals. He assisted as well. But defensively, he was shocking. He wasn't the best. Cucurella is great defensively. And if anything, he's sort of going forward, he's not as much of a threat than what Alonso was. And he's not an influence. He gets down the wing and he gets crosses in. But I can't see Cucurella scoring the same amount of goals as Alonso did. But at the same time, you look at Ben Chilwell, and Chilwell, I still think Chilwell's the full package. I think he's the number one in that position. I think it's up to Cucurella to fight. But again, as somebody pointed out earlier, Cucurella could play left side centre back if we need him. So, but to pay 62 million or whatever it was for Cucurella to not start him because you're going to play Chilwell is, well, you can imagine what the press will say. But so for me, I think that Chilwell starts. I think that Thomas Tuchel is getting to a point where he needs to sit and look at his best defensive unit and just stick with it for the next couple of games. I say next maybe 10 games and build on it. And it's got to be Chilwell. Like I said, for me, it's got to be Chilwell, Koulibaly, Silva, Fofana, Reece James. But I'll generally go with Kepa on Tuesday against Zagreb, 100%. Lasala, welcome along. Thanks for joining in. So I've admired Chilwell. He's very professional. What else would you expect? But yeah, fair play. Mehdi, how are you doing again? What do you guys think about Havertz's role? Since he came, he's improved in the holding up. The ball was all in pressure, high work rate. Curious to see him playing in position of Gallagher Mount a bit lower. That's the thing, though, isn't it, about Kai Havertz? Is Kai Havertz a number 8? Is he number 10? Number 6? What's your opinion, Alonso? What do you think?
Kai Havertz, when he played with Timo, and when he plays basically with fast players around him, I think there's more of a chance of him getting more space and kind of getting an opportunity to score. Whereas I find that if he's got, he doesn't, if Pulisic is not running the flanks and if no one else is actually creating that space for him, like Timo used to do when he used to, go wide on the left or cut in central, I think that's where Kai kind of struggles. If you're man marking Kai, I don't know how effective he can be. So I find Kai to be more of like kind of like a good Johnson role. Because remember when Jimmy was he was the target man. Whereas if Jimmy was outnumbered or, just kind of taken out of the game, good Johnson would kind of come up behind him. And that's where I see Kai kind of like behind the main striker kind of being more effective, because to rely on Kai up front, I think is a mistake, because it's not very effective in a sense. He does not his game. He's not someone who's going to dribble past. He's not someone who's going to use his power to control. So he's a completely different striker than what we were expecting. And I think that's where Kai, it's not as effective. I think if he's behind the main striker, that's his best position.
So playing as like a number 10, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. I think so.
So this is the problem that I've got to see. So if we're going to play the same way we're playing now, so if we like today, so today you went with a 3-5-2. Normally it's a 3-4-3. So if it's a 3-4-3, then you're playing Aubameyang up front as the main man for the middle with two number 10s behind him. So you're looking at a toss-up between Pulisic, Ziyech, Mount, Havertz, Sterling. And that's the problem. Is Sterling a number 10? Probably not. And that's where I'd go with, if you're going to go 3-4-3, you got to go with Havertz and Mount behind Aubameyang. Sterling doesn't play. If he goes 3-5-2, then Sterling and Aubameyang up front, you can then fit in your Mount and your Havertz around a defensive midfielder as your three in the middle with your two wing backs. But the point you made in relation to like Hasselbank, Good Johnson, brilliant player, Good Johnson, one of the most underrated players I think I've ever seen at Chelsea. But think about when Andrei Shevchenko signed for Chelsea and played alongside or played up with Didier Drogba. Didier Drogba had his most successful ever scoring season for Chelsea, over 30 goals that season, because there was not just him to focus on, it was also Shevchenko. So he sort of eased the burden a bit. And yeah, see, I think you're right. I think Kai Havertz can't play as a striker because he hasn't got the striker's mentality, the striker's instinct to make those moves and those runs. He's better, as you said, coming late on or playing just in behind supporting. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. This is sort of what I'm saying when I'm talking about when everyone's fit. And Tuchel's then got a decision to make. What formation do I play? And what is my best 11? And that's going to be interesting to see. That's what I'm saying. So let's give it a couple of months down the line. Let's see what happens, how he moulds the team. Will Aubameyang be playing every week as the main man up front? Will he be playing through the middle? Will he be playing on the left-hand side? We don't know. So it's just interesting to see what's going to happen. But yeah, like I say, it's for me, I think Havertz is a number 10. What do you guys think?Ogramo says James Sterling partnership are going to give Premiership clubs a big problem to handle. They will, but hopefully Sterling will play on his natural side on the left-hand side, not the right. Do you guys think Lukaku will ever play for us again? No, I don't think he will. I think he's probably... I think under this particular manager, I think he's burnt his bridges. I'm not so sure. I mean, I guess we have to see what happens. But for me, at the moment, I don't think he will. I think he wants to stay in Italy. That's where he wants to be. And I think when the loan finishes in 2 years, he'll probably want to stay. So, Anyway, indefinite. Are you still on? If you're still on, let me know in the chat, and I'll give you my email address, and we'll go from there. You can come and join. So, guys, let me know. Any more comments? Anything else you want to talk about, Alonso, while we're here? Get involved. Let me know.
I think in regards to Thomas Tuchel, I think, when we were, I think after the last game when we lost, there was a lot of Tuchel out, a lot of, is it the manager, is it the team? And, I think fans are still kind of in between, I think, certain players and what the manager is also capable of doing. But I think, when, like you say, when we need to give him time, and we need to remember last season that, we got to 2 cup finals. We lost on penalties. We had a disallowed goal in the League Cup final. And also we managed to get a Super Cup and a Club World Cup. So the man is doing his job. The man, I think, is doing well with everything that came with last season, because last season he had his personal issues as well as the sanctions, Abramovich, you know what I mean? And he won the Champions League before as well. So I think when you put everything into consideration, as a fan, what would you have done, in that situation? And when you say we need to give him time, which is the hardest thing to hear, I think, as a fan, especially a Chelsea fan, because we're used to having success almost every season for the last 20, 25 years. So I think that's where I think we just need to remind ourselves that he's still a really good manager, and now he needs to show what he can do. I mean,
let's be honest. The pressure's on to deliver top four this season. The amount of money they've spent, record spending. This window. If they then sort of go again in January and recruit a couple more players, if they don't finish top four, pressure's on. The pressure's on, and that's the bare minimum, top four. So let's see what happens. But just to put things into perspective here, so I'm just looking at Twitter. So the Premier League has just tweeted out a tweet. Tottenham beat Fulham today, 2-1, and they said Centurions. This was Spurs' 100th London derby win in the Premier League. Only Chelsea with 147 and Arsenal 142 have more. They're celebrating the fact that they've got 100 London derby wins, but they're still 47 behind us. Tottenham will always be behind us. And, people sort of moan about, Chelsea this, Chelsea that. But, I mean, look at the situation with Man United right now. They're sitting there with £70 million defender that can't get a game. One of the biggest names in football can't get a game. He doesn't fit the way the manager wants to play. They've had two good results. They pushed themselves up the table a little bit. But they're a club in turmoil, absolute turmoil. Because the next bad result, it'll all go mental again. So if Arsenal beat him tomorrow, it'll be about the divide between the Arsenal and Man United, all this sort of nonsense. So sometimes it's just worth looking around and just saying, look, things are not quite as bad as other places when it comes to Chelsea. And, Chelsea have got a massive, massive scope to grow. Massive scope. Thiago Silva. Tough game, yet important for the future. Congratulations everyone and keep it up, Chelsea FC. So good little tweet there from Thiago Silva. He was outstanding today. He got manhandled by buddy Mikel Antonio at one point. Literally rugby tackled him to the floor, grabbed him around the back of his neck and threw him to the floor. And Antonio got away with it. Outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Let's see some more of these comments coming in. Lasala says, please tell us what exact position Sterling likes to play. Is he a left winger? Because if so, why do you play Pulisic alongside him? I believe instead of Pulisic, we have Kyle Mount. And then you cut off your last part of your comment. I think Pulisic wants to be starting out on the left-hand side and coming inside from the left wing. That's where he wants to play. And Mehdi, the reason I have faith in Tuchel, someone taking promises is the goals we missed since he came in with comical can't be on TT. Exactly. The thing is, you can coach players. You can, work with them daily. They go out on pitch. It's up to them at the end of the day. You take the fall for it because you pick them in a certain formation, but it's up to the players to step up as well. And today, the Chelsea players did. 1-0 down, facing adversity against a team that was defending deep, in numbers, working hard, and they stepped up. Thank God. Anyway, hopefully Arsenal may not a draw. Well, we'll see. See what happens. But, just hope to keep lumps out of each other, to be fair. But if Man United win, they could go above us. They're the only team that could threaten our league position this weekend, heading into tomorrow's games. Liverpool and City both dropped points today. They did. Did you watch the games today? I thought Everton played well, had their chances. I only saw the first half of the Man City Villa game. They were dominating Man City. And what was worth noting that game was Erling Haaland was making loads of runs. I know he scored, apparently, but he was making loads of runs in that first half and he wasn't getting played the ball and he was getting frustrated beyond belief. So it just takes a bit of time. Haaland's been there from the summer and he's still trying to get used to the players that he's playing with. Chelsea have signed these extra players in the window, 3 more players towards the end of the window this week just gone. They need time to bed in. So let's not judge too soon, is the message. Clinton, it helps having Brentford and Fulham inspired 100 derbies. Exactly, yeah. Exactly. Mehdi says, I don't live in the UK, but why do Chelsea fans chant "We hate Tottenham" when players enter? Please, Chelsea fans, stop that. They're not relevant to us. No, it's a history from a long time ago. Chelsea and Tottenham just hate each other. They really do. From years and years and years back. Honestly, they really, really do. Will Aubameyang play next weekend? Probably not, because is he ruled out for 3 weeks? I think he's training with non-contact for 2 weeks, and then he's then back into normal training for another week or so. So, I wouldn't have thought so. Not next weekend. The weekend after, which happens to be Liverpool, by the way. That would be decent, wouldn't it? Aubameyang against Liverpool. How many goals do you think he's going to score? Do you think he's going to fit? There we go. Against Spurs, that was a great game, though he missed some. Then afterwards became a bit lazy. Maybe. Chelsea should have killed the game off against Tottenham 100%. Brilliant performance that day. Switched off. And, it was never a corner, though, was it, to be fair? But, Anyway, 107 people watching. Make sure you smash that like button for me. Let's just have a look and see how many we got. Thanks for joining, Alonso. Appreciate it on your Saturday evening. Where are you at? Where are you now? Where are you based now? I can never remember.
I'm in Milton Keynes.
Oh, there you go. So you're fair play. So you're approaching the midnight hour like me. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, so have you seen the highlights of the game then today on YouTube?
Yes, I saw them earlier today and from the Sky Sports highlights. Yeah, I thought, like I said, when Ben Chilwell, he looked a lot better than I thought he would. I thought we'd be looking after him a bit more than we are, but he makes a difference. He does make a difference in the team, and I think there are certain players, like you said, they do make a huge difference. You see what happening with Liverpool when Mane is not there or when Van Dijk is not there. You remember when Van Dijk got injured and then suddenly Liverpool were not Liverpool anymore? N'Golo Kante is injured for Chelsea. Chelsea are struggling. They're not as strong. So it only sometimes takes 1 or 2 players to kind of throw things out of the, out of the momentum. And I think we have to remember that as well. It's like we lost Ben Chilwell last season, and I think Cucurella is one of the main reasons why he's there. Because if that was to happen again, I'm sure Tuchel has thought, I don't want to be in that same situation like last season. Stuck with Alonso or stuck with who was it? We played Sarr, Alonso. I think at one point we were playing wingers as like proper wingers as wing back defenders, and it's like no. And he was getting criticized for that, but like I said earlier, what would have you have done? Because there's not many choices.
So, I know, and that's the thing, though. I mean, there's an argument right now looking at Liverpool that they miss Mane big time. Mane's pressing, his just influence on Liverpool team is just missing and lacking. But yeah, I mean, Kante was a massive miss, big miss. His energy, he's got a little bit of an aura about him, Kante, in the middle of midfield, and I think other players see it, they're susceptible to it, and just not having him there. Anyway, Jane, go and get some rest. Thanks for joining. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Jane. Thanks, everyone. And Daft and Alonso from Jane. Indefinite, you're on, Daft. I won't even assume this time. Take my daughter to dinner for her 9th birthday. Happy birthday to your daughter. Happy 9th birthday. Up the Chels Daft, exactly. All support true supporters. Up the Chels boys. Zagreb next, exactly. I'll be doing a live stream for the Zagreb game on Tuesday. Make sure you join that. Indefinite. Appreciate your support. Thank you very much. So I might call it there, Alonso. You might just give it, just knock it on the head there, mate. So thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. I might start doing some more of these little live streams just to have like people's feedback on the game and things like that, just to have a bit of a chinwag. And so always welcome to join, mate. Appreciate it. And thanks for being a member.
No problem. Thank you.
So, everybody, thank you for joining on this Saturday evening. Chelsea beat West Ham 2-1. A massive, massive win, despite the fact that we sort of got away with it. So, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks everybody else for the chat and Alonso, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Alonso.